Okay, all you 80s enthusiasts and movie lovers, welcome back to Gonzo, Mike, and a VCR. I'm Gonzo.
I'm Mike.
So, as usual, we're going to discuss some of the best and worst movies of the 80s, 90s, and beyond, and we'll give you our take, make a recommendation. We're also going to give each movie a rating. So, this is sort of a milestone for us, Mike. You know why? We're gonna change things up a little bit here for the first time on this milestone. We have a guest host on our show. It's a super fan of the movie that we're going to talk about today, and her name is Callie. And go ahead and tell us about yourself quickly, Callie.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is Callie. I'm a fan of the podcast and a super fan of the movie we're going to be discussing, and happy to be here.
All right, we're glad to have you today as well. So let's get started. Is everyone's cell phone silenced?
It
Yeah.
is.
All right, Roger that. So in this episode, we're going to venture for the first time, Mike, into the 90s. We're checking out the classic Christmas comedy directed by Chris Columbus and written and produced by John Hughes. We've heard that name before. And the movie is Home Alone. I'm going to talk about this movie real quick. This film grossed $476.7 million on a budget of $18 million. So that makes it the second highest grossing film in 1990, only surpassed by Mike's favorite movie, Ghosts.
Oh, good.
So now this is actually the highest grossing movie we looked at here on the podcast. And it was nominated for 2 Academy Awards for music by John Williams and 2 Golden Globe Awards, one for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, and Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, and that's for Macaulay Culkin there. So it also, by the way, won Best Comedy Film in the British Comedy Awards. Now, Roger Ebert gave this 2.5 out of 4 stars. It's got a 66 on Rotten Tomatoes. So, Callie, how'd you get to be a super fan of this film?
I think I've been watching this movie every Christmas since it came out. It just kind of became like a tradition, and now it's something that I look forward to every season.
Yeah, and we actually made you break tradition a little bit by watching
You
this
did.
movie before Thanksgiving, correct?
You did. Yeah.
Oh,
Typically, I have a rule: no holiday movies, Christmas movies before Thanksgiving, but I had to brush up on it. So
okay, very good, very good. We appreciate that. So yeah, same here for me. My wife actually is a super fan, and she watches this every Thanksgiving right after everything's all cleaned up, after the dinner's all cleaned up. So that's what we do. So I see it every year as well there. So are you a super fan of this movie, Mike?
I wouldn't say a super fan, but I would agree with Callie. I think that all of us sort of find a Christmas movie, a holiday movie, where when you're growing up, it just hits at the right time. So my movie for this would be more like A Christmas Story, which I saw in theaters as a kid.
Okay, okay. So because you're the only non-super fan on here, Mike, we're still
Oh,
going to
good.
have we're still going to have you explain the plot to us quickly. So go ahead and for those people who haven't seen it, or maybe people who haven't seen it in a while, they're listening. Remind them what's it about, Mike.
Sure. And hopefully I do this justice. If I don't, I'm sure Callie will fill in any blanks. But okay, so Home Alone follows Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin. And Kevin is an 8-year-old living with his large extended family in the suburb of Chicago. So the night before the family is scheduled to fly to Paris for Christmas, the house is chaotic, relatives running everywhere, and we see who we think is a cop, played by Joe Pesci, just standing just inside the entrance of their house, asking questions. He's acting like he wants to make sure there are no burglaries in the neighborhood over the holiday season, and that will come up later. So during dinner, Kevin gets into a fight with his older brother Buzz, played by Devin Rattray, and Kevin is sent to sleep in the attic as punishment. I can't picture that happening today. Before he goes to bed, Kevin basically tells his mom that he wishes he didn't have a family. And something that seems trivial at the time but comes up later is that earlier that night, Kevin notices the family's reclusive neighbor, Old Man Marley, played by Roberts Blossom. Buzz has Kevin convinced that Old Man Marley's dangerous, something that leaves Kevin uneasy. So overnight, A storm knocks out the power, resetting the alarm clocks to the house. So the entire family oversleeps and then has to rush to the airport so they don't miss their flight. In all that confusion, a neighbor kid is mistakenly counted as Kevin during a head count, and the McAllisters take off without realizing Kevin isn't with them. So Kevin wakes up in an empty house, believes his wish for the family to disappear has come true. And you think he'd be horrified, but he spends the whole next day just doing whatever he wants, no supervision. Sounds like a magical place, watching movies, eating whatever he wants, checking out his brother's Playboy magazine, basically having the run of the house. Meanwhile, Kevin starts noticing strange activity outside. Two burglars, Harry, played by Joe Pesci, who we thought that was a cop at the beginning. He was masquerading as a cop, and his buddy Marv, played by Daniel Stern. They're robbers calling themselves the Wet Bandits because anytime they rob a house, Marv intentionally leaves the water running in the house that they rob. So they're breaking into homes while the families are away for holidays. Kevin overhears them discussing his house as their next target. So at the same time, all this is going on, Kate McAllister, Kevin's mom, played by Catherine O'Hara, realizes mid-flight that Kevin was left behind. And once they're in Paris, she immediately starts trying to get home. Every flight's booked. So she trades everything she has to reach the US and eventually gets a ride from Gus Polinski, played by John Candy, and his traveling polka band from Scranton to Chicago. Back home, Kevin goes grocery shopping on his own, becomes more responsible, begins to confront some of his fears he had as a little kid. And he does run into old man Marley again, eventually meeting him at a church on Christmas Eve. Marley reveals that he's not dangerous and he's estranged from his son and unsure how to reconcile. So Kevin and Marley have a conversation that helps Kevin realize the value of his family, and it also encourages Marley to reach out to his estranged son. That same night, Kevin overhears Harry, and Marv planning to break in at 9 p.m. into his house. And knowing he's alone, he decides to protect the house. He goes and sets up all this elaborate system of traps using household items, toys, everyday tools. And when the burglars break in, they trigger everything from icy steps, hot doorknobs, paint cans swinging from the staircase. The movie kind of goes Three Stooges at this point. So after a long chase where he escapes on a zip line, he's attached to his treehouse. Kevin escapes to the neighbor's house, calls the police. Harry and Marv nearly catch him, but then old man Marley arrives and then knocks him out with a snow shovel, both of them. The police then arrest the burglars. Kevin returns home, cleans up, goes to bed, and his mother arrives early the next morning, shortly followed by the rest of the family. And outside, Kevin sees Marley reunited with his son and granddaughter, showing that he too took Kevin's advice. And then the movie ends with the McAllister family settling back in as Christmas morning unfolds.
All right, that's
So,
pretty cool.
Callie, what have I left out?
No, I think you covered it pretty much from beginning to end.
Awesome.
Did you mention that Kevin is 8 years old only? I
He
just
did.
okay. So yeah, it's funny because Mike said he matures a little bit, grows up a little bit, gets some response like you're 8 years old still at the end of the day. So all right, pretty good deal, pretty good deal. First take on this movie. Of course, we all have talked about this. We've all seen it before we watched it to prep for this. But if you remember, like when the first time you saw this movie, do you remember, Callie, when that was?
I mean, when it came out, and that was quite a long time ago at this point, but I do remember thinking it was hysterical because he was so young and trying to picture like if I were left home like that at that age, what kind of things would I want to be doing? Like he toboggans down the stairs and,
Yeah.
gets into all the junk food, all the kinds of stuff that he was doing. Uh, but I mean, it was quite a long time ago to remember what it was like when I very first saw it.
All right, all right. So, Mike, what do you think? When was the first time you think you saw this?
I've definitely seen it all the way through at least a couple of times. I just can't remember the first time. When I know it came out in 1990. At that point, I had just graduated high school. So I probably didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it at the time it came out.
Yeah, as for me, I was in Europe, living in Italy when I was in the army, so I definitely did not see it when it first came out, and I'm not sure exactly when, but I've seen it every year for like at least the last 30 years. So, so what's your first take on this movie, Mike?
Uh, I liked it. It was good. I know there were sequels to the point that I think they eventually changed the main character, and I didn't see any of those. So the first one, definitely, I liked it. It was funny. And this may be the first time I've realized this was a John Hughes movie. Do you know, was this his first movie of the 90s?
Well, this is produced and directed, or produced. And what did I say there? So he didn't direct it though. Chris Columbus directed it. Chris Columbus, if you'll remember, he's the guy who did the first couple of Harry Potter movies when what's that guy's name? Daniel Radcliffe was very young. So
Okay.
he produced it, and well, I guess was the executive producer or whatever. I think he wrote it too. Um so what about you, Callie? What's your first take on this?
I think it's a great Christmas movie. It's like funny for the whole family. I think that, grandparents could watch it with grandchildren and everybody would equally be amused by it in their own different types of ways. Uh, and I like that there's no, like, I mean, obviously it's dramatic that this 8-year-old is left home, but in a comical kind of way. I like that there's no like drama or soapiness to it. It's just like a funny holiday movie.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I don't know why my notes here. I wrote Thanksgiving story. This is a Christmas story, right? It's definitely it counts for as a Christmas movie for me. I just want to say, once the burglars try to break in, it turns into a cartoon. This thing reminds me of like Tom and Jerry
Yeah.
cartoons, where like there a piano can fall onto your head. I mean, things that would put you in the hospital for weeks, right? These guys
Mm-hmm.
are just able to live through it, getting his head burnt off and all this stuff. It's crazy. So, but yeah, it just turns into like a real action cartoon. So we want to talk about some of these characters here. Um, Kevin McAllister, I know you mentioned that, Mike. Macaulay Culkin. How did he fit in this role? What do you think, Mike?
He was good for the role. I like him even better when he played a psychopath in The Good Son, but this was nice too. I couldn't think of any other actor at that time that would have been around his age that could have done any better job. So I think he was great in the role.
All
Yeah.
right, very good. What about you, Callie?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, part of it might be nostalgia, but I can't imagine anybody else playing this role as well. Or, uh, there's just certain parts like when he does the aftershave and he screams in the mirror that are just so Macaulay Culkin. Even now, when you see him as an adult, it's hard not to picture that. I think he was a great fit for it.
Yeah, yeah, he was. The aftershave thing kills me, I got to say, because like if you haven't actually shaved and on a minor microscopic level broken up skin, like how is that going to hurt you? I don't know. So,
Yeah.
but it's like I think some little kids watching that movie probably like, why is he screaming? What is that stuff, right? I think
Hmm.
it's acid or something. But this is basically his whole career, right? Like this is his career. To me, it's like this is what he did. So that's going to move us on to Kate. Kevin's mom, Catherine O'Hara. You told us that was how do you think she did in this, Callie?
I loved her. I personally love her as an actress. In most recently, Schitt's Creek, she was like the perfect role in that. If you've ever seen that series, but I thought she was a great fit for that character as well.
Mike, how'd you like Catherine O'Hara?
Yeah, in terms of Kate McAllister, the mom, she was pretty rough on Kevin, from what we see him doing at the beginning. Although, you remember when they sent him to the attic to
Yes.
spend the night at the very beginning, and y'all can probably relate to this because growing up in what was essentially just getting out of the 80s, when she said get upstairs and he said I am upstairs, dummy. I was like, that would not have gone over well at my house at all. That would have resulted in a lot of smacking, slapping, grounding. I don't know.
Yeah,
But like Callie said, I loved her in Schitt's Creek, and I can even remember her all the way back. Catherine O'Hara. Can y'all remember something called SCTV?
I remember it, but I can't tell you that I remember her in it.
Yeah, so many people came out of SCTV that no one remembers. It was sort of the Canadian version
Of like Saturday Night
of
Live.
Saturday Night
Yeah.
Live. And John Candy, Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, so many people came out of that.
Yeah, it's funny you guys both mentioned TV, and I'm not like a big TV watcher except for sports. So on my notes here, I'm like, this to me, this is her whole career. I don't know of any other movies really that she's in, but she's still milking it. Did you see last Christmas season? She's on with her iconic Kevin, right? When she
Mhm.
realizes he's missing on the plane, she's saying that in a commercial for I think Macy's. Is this with Kevin Hart, right? So still playing that. I don't know. Did you guys see that commercial last season? Yeah,
I don't remember the commercial, but I feel like it's still such a loved movie. It's relevant for her to do that. Still, people will get the joke.
yeah. People.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's a funny commercial. I'm sure they'll play it again this season. So be on the lookout for that. So uh, Peter McAllister. This is Kevin's dad. He's played by John Hurd. You seen him on other things, Mike? And how did you think he did here?
I have seen him through the years in all sorts of TV and movies, but he's always playing a secondary role. I can't remember him leading any movie. The thing that sticks out is I remember he played a character on The Sopranos. Um, Definitely not a bad performance. He's a great actor, but I mean, given the limited screen time and the role, I think you could have put a lot of different actors in that part. They would have done just as well.
Yeah.
So, not a lot to say.
Okay. What
Like
about
John Hurd, though.
yeah? What about you, Callie?
Yeah, I agree. And the role itself, he's kind of the like dopey, nice guy dad. Like even
Hmm.
when the milk spills on the table, it's like he's never cleaned up a mess before in his life. He just like dumps a bunch of napkins on it and throws away plane tickets. Like I agree with you, Mike. Anybody could have probably played that role just as well. There wasn't a lot of screen time in what it was. It was just kind of him being like the background character to everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's not a main character, and there's a lot of people. This is a big family, especially when you bring the aunt and uncle in. I didn't list everybody here because a lot of it's so minimal parts, but one person I think that was a big part just because he played his role so well was Buzz McAllister, Kevin's oldest brother.
Mhm.
This is Devin Rattray. And how did you like him in this part, Callie?
I loved him. I think he's so funny. He plays such a good, awful big brother. I love the part when the older sister, I don't remember which one, is kind of starting to get worried about him when they're in Paris. And he's counting down all the reasons why nothing would ever happen to Kevin. And he's like, A, 2, D. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
he's just, I think he's a great fit for the role.
Yeah,
yeah,
we have smoke detectors.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? Any other thoughts on Buzz?
No, no, I agree with Callie. The only thing I would add in, and this just struck me last night, I was watching it. Uh, he sort of reminded me of what Biff from Back to the Future was probably like as a kid.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I saw the haircut, the kind of demeanor and everything. I said, yeah, this would be like Biff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he plays a good jerk. Do you think I'm thinking Buzz? Is there like a Buzz in Weird Science or something? Someone's big brother? What movie
Oh,
am I thinking?
it's so funny. It is so funny that you say that. Oh my God,
It's not the same
that
guy,
is,
but it's
no,
played by it's played
you're
by a famous
absolutely,
actor. This was a famous actor. Was this
yeah. I think you're thinking of Chet,
Chet?
his
That's
big
right.
brother in there. And you're absolutely right. That was the second character that popped in my mind when I
And,
saw this.
and
Yeah.
that guy was in Twister, right? He was like the lead role in Twister.
No,
I
not
think
this kid.
no, no,
You're
no.
getting a mixed up with Bill
Chet was
Paxton.
Bill
Yeah, yeah,
Paxton. Yeah.
yeah. Bill Paxton
Okay.
was in Twister. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Buzz is a good jerk. The last member of the family I put in here was Kevin's uncle, Uncle Frank, played by Jerry Bammon. And how did you like Uncle Frank, Mike?
I'd say he stood out more than most of the other secondary characters. But again, he wasn't given a lot to do. I almost feel like that actor hammed it up a little bit and made that character more interesting than it may have been on paper. So much of this movie was really about Kevin and the two robbers, and secondarily about their neighbor.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
thought he did good with what I think he probably did more with that role than many other people probably would have.
Sure. Sure. How'd you like Uncle Frank, Callie?
I think he plays the like quintessential uncle in all of those movies from that generation. You know, like in Christmas Vacation, there's the uncle that comes, and they always have somebody from the family that's kind of the outlier. And I feel like that was his role in this movie.
Hmm.
Actually, really hate his character though. If I'm being honest with you, I can't stand the way he talks to Kevin at the table when the milk spills in the soda, and he's like, "Look what you did, you little jerk." It actually gets under my skin every time I hear it, that like I would ask you kindly to leave my house if you spoke to my child that way.
Callie, that is such a great point because I keyed in on that too, where instead of defending him the way most parents would do, the whole
Yes,
family just turns on this little 8-year-old kid.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I mean, you're asking an 8-year-old to pack his own suitcase to go to Paris and then upset with him that he's frazzled by the night. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh, I agree.
Yeah, I hear you. I like the job Uncle Frank did. When I think about when they're in first class on the airplane and he's like the salt and pepper shakers, they get food. He goes, hey, look, these are real
Hmm.
crystal. Put them in your purse. And his wife goes, what are you talking about? He goes, put them. And then and then he's like filling up on champagne. He's getting everything he can for his money. He's like cheap and he's a jerk and he's mean to kids.
But it
Yeah.
wasn't even his money. The McAllisters bought the plane ticket.
Yeah, there you go.
Hmm.
There you go. So yeah, so that about wraps up the family. I want to talk about the bandits. Two guys here, and like Mike said, it really to me in this movie, the four main characters, it's Kevin, Harry, and Marv, the bandits, and then the mom. Really, if you're looking at it, and her journey, and she's really sort of the fourth. But these are the big three: Kevin and Harry and Marv. So now Harry, Joe Pesci. Well, how do you like him in this role, Callie?
I like his character. I think he's scary for a little kid. I actually remember reading somewhere, and I could be wrong, but I feel like I remember reading that during the filming of this, he intentionally didn't talk to Macaulay Culkin at all because he wanted him to be authentically scared of him during filming. Uh,
That's awesome.
yeah, but I think he fit the role really well.
Yeah. Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, Joe Pesci, just in general, never disappoints. It seems like Harry is more of the straight guy of the two robbers. He's playing it more straight. Both of them are kind of goofy, but he's more of the leader, more of the boss. And I love Joe Pesci in other stuff. Goodfellas and Casino, where he played virtually the same character. He can do comedy like this movie, like My Cousin Vinny, and taking you way back. If either one of you remember him playing Rodney Dangerfield's buddy in Easy Money. That was fantastic, early 80s.
Do not remember that, but yeah, I felt like sort of it's almost the same personality he has in this movie as in the gangster movies, only as a
Hmm.
only in a comedy sort of way. But
Yeah,
um,
less violent.
yeah, he does a good job. I love it when he's like, "I'm going to bite each finger off one at a time." When they got the kid at the end, like, what type of who's doing this? Like,
Hmm.
but so the other wet bandit, and this is the bandit who makes them the wet bandits, right? Marv, played by Daniel Stern. How do you like Marv, Mike?
I think he played it over the top, but in this case, I think it absolutely worked for the role. He was goofy. I love the facial expressions. The one thing that sticks out in my mind is when Kevin threw the tarantula on his face or put it on his face, and that
Yeah.
look, fantastic. I know he was previously City Slickers 1 and 2, and a movie that you introduced me to, Breaking Away, which may have been his first movie in terms of Daniel Stern.
Yeah, what do you think about Marv, Callie here?
Yeah, I'm actually not familiar with him in anything else other than this movie. This is my only way that I would recognize him. But I agree with Mike. I think he's like of the two bandits, burglars, he's the more like slapstick one. And I think it's a good balance to Joe Pesci's character.
Yeah, he does a good job in Breaking Away. That's a 1979 movie. This was an award-winning movie. It is a great movie. Anyone who has not seen, and he's one of the main four characters in Breaking Away. There's a group of four friends. He does a great job in that, but he's still sort of almost the same role, the sort of funny, quirky guy. But
Hmm.
uh, but he in City Slickers, he's the one who got he's running a grocery store for his father-in-law or something, and he got the cashier pregnant or something because he was cheating on his wife. So he's just a mess. But Breaking Away, anyone, you should see it. 1979. You will read what that movie's about when you look at the description and say, this sounds stupid to me. I'm telling you, watch it. It's a great movie.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think he does a good job. He's perfect for this role. No better visual for me than when he steps on that like glass star Christmas ornament when he comes through the
Yeah.
window. I mean, that's gotta hurt. That just kills me there. So other people of note in this movie, I know you mentioned him earlier, Mike. Marley, that's Kevin's elderly neighbor who Buzz had made up like he's a serial killer or something, right? Played by Robert Blossom. How do you like him in this role as the old neighbor, Mike?
Yeah, great performance. This was my favorite character. I liked him better than the robbers, better than Kevin, definitely better than any of the secondary. For a relatively small role, he had an outsized impact, and he played against type. And what I mean by that, have either one of you seen the Stephen King movie Christine?
I have seen it.
No.
I don't remember him being in that though.
Uh, that's because he plays it so differently. He looks the same, but in Christine, he had a pair of overalls. He's the one that sold the possessed car to Arnie, who is the main
Uh,
character, and he's using so much profanity and just it's the characters couldn't be more different. And I feel like his character really helped take this from what's a really good comedy movie and a really good holiday movie, but it adds heart to it. His backstory, his conversations with Kevin in the church, I really liked him.
Here we go, Mike, getting all
Mhm.
sappy on us
I
already.
know
So,
I'm starting to miss stuff.
yeah. How do you like Kevin's neighbor there, Callie?
I actually couldn't agree more. He's also my favorite character for pretty much all the same reasons that Mike laid out. Uh, the scene in the church gets me every time. I think he's a great, similarly, like balances out the rest of the movie. That's like all comedy or whatever. And then it kind of ties it into maybe thinking a little bit more of what the message is behind the holiday season and the like fact that it's Christmas in the movie. I really liked him a lot.
Okay, wow. I'm so shocked that either of you said this is your favorite character. I don't know. It just
Who
kills
was
me.
yours?
My favorite character has got to be Kevin in this. I know,
Mm.
Mike, you're always
Mhm.
against. I just think Kevin, if, I mean, this is his career. I think he did a great job. I think he's just so damn cute at that age too, like his facial expressions and
Mhm.
everything. But yeah, I mean, Marley did good. I thought it was a smaller part. Of course, I'm not taking the sappy meaning out of every movie like Mike does generally here, um, but I do remember him from Vision Quest. He played Loudon Swain's grandfather, lived out in the middle of the woods.
Oh.
He did a good job there, but again, that was a small role as well.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I'm sure he's been in a lot of other things here and there, but nothing really that's jumping out at me. Um, People would give me a bunch of crap here if I didn't mention that John Candy was in this movie. So we're going to talk about as small as a part as it was, Gus Polinski, the polka guy, played by John Candy. How did you like John in this, Callie?
Yeah, I mean, I love John Candy. We always watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles on Thanksgiving night before we'll turn to the Christmas movies. So he's kind of like a nice tying these together. Uh, he does have a really small role for how big of an actor he was, I think, at that time. But, is like the super nice guy offering her a ride to get to her son. I feel like it's a bit unrealistic. Not the whole movie is a bit unrealistic, right? It's supposed to be, but to
Sure.
think
Yeah.
that a woman is going to get in like a moving truck with like 12 guys that are, oh, we're a polka place, like
Mhm.
we'll drive you into Chicago. But his character is still endearing, like he is in pretty much every movie that he plays in.
Yeah. How'd you like Gus, Mike?
Yeah, I agree with Callie. This could have been a forgettable character, but they picked John Candy, and John Candy is going to shine in whatever he's in. Uh, I liked his line. He was trying to relate to her, trying to make her feel better. And I can't remember the exact line, but he was saying how he had left a kid in a funeral home every night.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, he was fine. I mean, he didn't talk for 6 to 8 weeks, but after that, they bounced back, and
Yeah.
that didn't make her feel the way he had hoped. Um, well, again, he's an SCTV alum. I would recommend anybody go on YouTube, try to find old episodes of SCTV because it's kind of been forgotten, and everybody on that show pretty much went on to bigger and better things. Loved John Candy in Stripes. Uncle Buck, loved him in the bit role in Vacation, where he was telling them that sorry folks, the park's closed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure. And there's the connection there with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and Uncle Buck. Obviously, that's John Hughes. So this is a small role. They've got an ongoing relationship where he's involved in John Hughes movies. And so maybe even if it is a small role and he's sort of a bigger actor at this time, John Hughes has said, "Hey, I got this perfect thing for you. Just do me this favor." And he
Mhm.
probably jumped on it, right? I'm not sure, but I think he did a great job in there. So I want to give an extra shout out. My last person, this is one of the smallest but biggest roles in the movie. It's Mitch Murphy. He's the 8-year-old neighbor kid, played by Jeffrey Wiseman. This is the kid, when I say the 8-year neighbor, who the big sister taps him on the head. When she doesn't see his face, she thinks it's Kevin and says, "We're all present," right? So how did you
Mhm.
like Mitch Murphy, Mike?
Not a lot to say about him. I was trying to think of who that even was, and the only thing I could come up with is that must be the kid
Yeah,
that they mistook, because the only other kid that really caught my attention was Macaulay Culkin's younger brother. And that's because at the time I saw this all the way through, of course, the show Succession on HBO had not come out.
Mhm.
And as soon as I saw him, I said, that has to be his brother that grew up and was in Succession, because he looks exactly like Macaulay Culkin.
yeah, and you beware, because then I go and think about. I have the same thoughts, and I thought when I saw Signs, I thought the same things, but it's not the same kid from Signs. There's like 6
Mhm.
Culkins, and so I've got him in the notes a little bit further down here of which one this is. But so how did you? What do you think about the pivotal role of Mitch Murphy, Callie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was anything stand out about him except for that he was annoying the taxi drivers that were trying to load up the luggage, and just was pretty much the catalyst for the whole movie happening, was that she miscounted and thought Kevin was there because of him.
Yeah, for sure. Because if he's not there, I want to add this in. If he's not there, they're like, "Hey, we don't have everybody." And then someone,
Right.
his mom probably at that point says, "Kevin," and then they run up and get him.
Mhm.
And maybe he makes them late for their flight because they got to get him awake and get him downstairs. But this kid, I want to mention, no respect for other people's things. Like, so here he is. He goes right into the van where they're loading the luggage. He just
Mhm.
opens luggage. He goes, "Ooh, look, a camera." Takes the picture with it. Then he finds a
Yep.
yo-yo and he starts playing with, like, who's raised by him. And the thing I think about this kid, think of this: these two are neighbors. Imagine Kevin and Mitch, what type of mischief they can get into. Like, these two are both troublemakers. So that
Oh
the
yeah.
fact that they're neighbors, these kids, I bet you when they're in high school, they're like just notorious by this time with the stuff they're getting into. So I don't know him from any other movie, but I just had to add him in there because it doesn't happen without him, right? So, um, okay, I want to talk about what's your favorite part here or favorite scene. Mike, let's let you go first and tell us what it is.
So you know how sometimes we pick out more of a theme than an actual scene. And for me, the funniest parts, the parts that hit me were Kevin, because he is home alone, because he is in danger if the wrong people find out, he has to make people think they're an adult there, or some adults. So he finds that old black and white movie, and he keeps using lines from that, and he keeps fast forwarding and rewinding to just the part that he needs. And that landed so hard with me. I was laughing out loud every time that happened. And there was one specific scene where he did that I thought was better than anything else. And that was when the pizza
Uh,
delivery kid came back to the house, And he's like, well, I've got your pizza, sir. And he said something like, well, just put it on the steps and get the hell out of here. And I thought that is fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's your favorite. That's, man, I gotta tell you, you never cease to surprise me, Michael. But
Oh, good.
we'll go ahead and let Callie tell us what her favorite part or scene was. What do you got?
So maybe I'm stealing Mike's general role here, but my favorite scene is the scene in the church with Kevin and Old Man Marley. I just love everything about that scene, their whole conversation, the fact that he's having what's seemingly like a very serious conversation with a child. And the kid makes a really good point to him. And then seeing that all tie together at the end where he reconnects with his son and, is hugging his granddaughter and waves to him. Uh, and then the jokes about the sweaters that he gets from his grandma. There's just so many things there that just really, it's my favorite part of the movie every year. It gets me every time, like I said before. And there's great stuff throughout the movie, right? But that's just a standout one for me.
Okay, wow, you're both of you are surprising me here, but I get it. So Callie being a little sentimental for the Christmas spirit and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I find that scene interesting because of like he actually is getting advice from Kevin, right? He gives
Yeah.
advice and he gets advice, so that is pretty cool. So my favorite scene, the spider and
Mhm.
uh, someone, one of you already mentioned it, right? When Kevin puts the
Yeah.
tarantula on Daniel Stern, the scream is exactly the scream that I would make if someone put a spider on my face, because I do not like spiders. I mean, and going to the part where then he's like, where is it? Where is it? He's got the crowbar and he's going to kill the spider because he hates the
Oh,
spider.
yeah.
And it just scared the crap out of him. And Joe's like, Marv, what are you doing, Marv?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He wakes up and sees this guy over him and he hits him. And then Marv, and then Harry picks it up, takes it from him and hits him with it. I thought that's my favorite, just a funny scene. I want to give an honorable mention. Something that made me laugh out loud sitting watching this movie alone was when they're in the van and Kevin's walking down the street after they almost hit him in the driveway, and they're like, let's follow him, see where he goes. And the kid's walking and the van pulls in behind him and they're slow rolling it behind him. And then Kevin turns around and looks at him and they both pretend like it's clear the van is following
Like
them.
there's, yeah.
Yeah, they're like looking
Mhm.
around like, oh, like so I love that part. I also love the house check, the old grumpy cop when they
I
call
knew you
from,
were going to say that.
yeah, when they call from Europe and this old grumpy
Mhm.
cop knocks on the door, the Christmas lights, the automatic lights are on, the Christmas lights are on. He checks the house is secure and he has his radio and he's supposed to be doing a welfare check on this little kid who's all alone. He goes, the house looks all secure, tell them to count their kids again. And he just gets back in his car and leaves. I love that. That's just, I don't even know who that guy was. Such a small role, but I just think it's a great part. So those are my parts. As you can see, I don't go for the sappy, touchy feely favorite parts. Clearly, like you all, but hey, someone had to be
That
honest.
is surprising.
So, yeah, that's so. What's your least favorite part? Stupidest scene, Callie. You're first here.
My least favorite part is actually the part when he goes into that like corner store type of place and is asking about the toothbrush.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it just, I don't know, that whole scene feels out of place to me. Like the store looks like it was like from a different period of time than what the movie took place in. And it's like she like yells to the grocer kid who's wearing an apron and she's like, stop that boy. And it just feels very out of place and kind of unnecessary. Like I don't really understand it. I do get the part where he goes and actually goes grocery shopping and he's talking to the checkout lady. Like I like that part. That makes sense. But
Sure.
this just felt like an unnecessary thing. And the characters in the store and the way that whole scene unfolds just feels very out of place to me compared to the rest of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you, Mike. What do you got?
Okay, this is absolutely going to be the most unpopular opinion
Okay.
uh, there could be in terms of uh, like Callie said, she felt like she was filling my role for one of the questions. This I feel like I'm filling Gonzo's role for answering
Um,
this question, and I think that Gonzo actually likes this. I just wasn't feeling any of the scenes where Kevin would scream or put his hands on his cheeks. And to me, I'm sure it's probably just me, that felt manufactured and forced. And the aftershave scream, for example, and he did that twice. And so to me, that was like, okay, that's a little silly. And it seemed like rehearsed and forced. But again, maybe just me.
Okay. Okay. No, I get you. And I'm feeling like, because he runs up right into the camera and then he turns around and
Right.
goes the other way in the hallway. I get it. It's sort of, I think they were playing around and they thought this kid's cute or something, maybe. And
Yeah.
let's just get a right up in his face on it. But I can deal with that. That doesn't throw me off too much, Mike. So for me,
Callie's
I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with Callie. The shoplifting thing, the ice slide of the cop sliding on the ice and the
Yeah.
kid sliding. It's not. It doesn't make sense. I mean, they needed I guess they thought they needed another example of the old man sort of scaring him before he gets to know him.
Mhm.
I don't know, because the old man, Marley shows up
Sure.
at the counter, but I don't think it needed. I got to give a dishonorable mention here to the rope drop after Kevin slides to the treehouse. And those guys
Mhm.
are, and I know I said it's like a cartoon, so I'm supposed to suspend disbelief, but he cuts the rope and like they're so far away, they wouldn't hit the wall. They would just fall on the ground, right? So I don't like this. And Mike, here we go. Look at this. We're exact opposites here. I hate the machine gun video. I think it's terrible. I think it's
Wow.
I think it's stupid. I think that
Huh?
uh, I think it's just so stupid, and they bring it up again in the Home Alone 2. Hate it, hate
Mhm.
it. Oh my,
You're right. I think he's watches it in that movie too,
yeah,
right?
it's a different movie. I was reading up about it. This one was called "Filthy Little Liars" or something like that. And then
Yeah.
and then in the second movie, the tape when he pulls that out, it says "Filthier Little Liars." It's like supposed to be the
Mm.
sequel, so it's a slightly different scene. It's stupid. I don't like
And
it. No one's going to be running around. You can't even hear that TV set from outside. The pizza guy and when Marv fall and they both fall over the trash cans. Just get it out of here. I think it's a waste
Yeah,
of
but
time.
Marv is like kind of not the smartest character in the movie, you know.
yeah.
So it is kind of funny. I thought not necessarily the part with the pizza delivery guy, but when
Mhm.
Marv goes back to the van and he's like, "There's some guy named Snake," and he's all like spun up about it. Where like for him, I think it makes sense like that he wouldn't figure out it was a movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. It's we got a
And I
lot of
was so disappointed when I found out that that's not a real movie. I actually
No.
tried to go find that
oh
movie.
no.
I said, this must be a real old black and white movie, but it wasn't.
I've
Doesn't
seen
exist.
that guy. I've seen that guy in a movie. The guy who was doing the talking there. I forget what movie it was. I feel like it was something like one of these latest movies that I've seen with what's the one with De Niro and DiCaprio? He might have been in that. I'm not sure. The one with the Indian reservation, whatever.
Oh, I know what your flowers,
Yeah, Flowers of the
something moon
Moon or
or
something. Yeah. So
yeah.
maybe he was in it. I don't know, but I don't even know who it is. And it was so stupid. I don't want to look it up and find out who the guy's name is. So that's for me. Sorry to hurt your feelings, Mike. So
That's okay.
what additional comments do you have about this movie? Anything else that like we haven't discussed yet? That Mike, what do you think?
I thought of two or three things. One is that the pizza place is Little Nero's, so I assume that's not a real pizza place because I saw several Pepsis in the movie. So I'm guessing there was product placement and maybe a deal with Little Caesars just fell through because I said they are definitely going for a Little Caesars delivery. Um, and the plane, and I'll be the first one to say, I am not used to flying first class or business class, whatever. And maybe things were different in the late 80s, 1990, but they're supposed to be flying first class. So American first class must suck because it looked like the seats were all coach, and I can't imagine what the coach seats look like. They must have been sitting on a couple of milk crates with a TV tray because there wasn't anything extra in first class.
Okay. Okay. Additional comments there, Callie?
I don't really have anything to add. I think that there's a lot of parts to this movie that you could look at as an adult and be like, that's ridiculous. Why didn't he just call the police eventually? Or like a kid's going to think to do all those things. Um, but I think that's what makes it great is it kind of like is a throwback to childhood and lets you kind of just use your imagination and be okay with all the ridiculous things happening. I don't really have much to add beyond
Okay.
that.
Okay. So I've got my notes here. Fuller, the bedwetting cousin, that was played by Kieran Culkin, Macaulay's little brother, who Kieran, if you remember, was in the Father of Brides series with Steve Martin. He was the little kid, the little brother in that. And FYI, because I thought, Kieran is the one who was in Signs with Mel Gibson. And what's the other name of that guy in there? I forget Mel Gibson's brother in there.
Joaquin
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Who we saw his brother in, what was that? With Stand By Me, we were just talking about, right? So, yeah, Father of the Bride, but in Signs, it was Rory Culkin who played the kid. These kids look alike. I mean, all of them.
They may be clones.
Yeah, it's crazy. Macaulay looks different than both of them, stands out because of his color of his hair, but the other two are brown hair. You can't, I mean, it's hard to tell them apart. So sequels, there were 6 sequels in total. Home Alone #2, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. This is the same story in a different setting. It's actually watchable if you like the cartoon part, which that's my part, the cartoon part where the guys keep getting hurt. It's actually watchable. You can watch it. He's lost in New York and his mom's looking for him, and he beats the crap out of these guys, right? Throwing bricks at their head, stuff that would kill people, right? But all the rest, and they changed the lead character after that. All the rest, the complete trash. Trash. Have either of you seen anything further than Home Alone 2, Lost in New York?
I've seen Home Alone 2 a couple times, and I think that with my kids, we tried to see some of the other ones and didn't even get past the first, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And we're like, no, this isn't. And I mean, they eventually had to stop with the story. How many times can a family leave the same child behind when they go on vacation before it becomes problematic, right? Like they had to change.
They call Child Protective Services at that point.
I mean, the police are pretty apathetic in the first one, but I don't know. The newer ones are terrible. They're a totally different story, different character, different everything. They're just modeled after Home Alone, really.
Yeah. Is it a different family even? I think I heard.
Yeah, I think they are.
I read that Buzz returns in one of them. That actor, I don't know. It's not the same. It's not supposed to be the same character, but that's it. But these are probably worse, Mike, than the Lost Boys sequels. There were 2 of those, as you'll remember. I don't remember the names, but you'll remember I did look those up, and both of those were 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, you have to try hard. You have to we're putting effort in. We're trying to get 0% here, right? So, all right. So, okay. Message, lesson, moral of the story. Callie, we always say here, if we can't find a message in a story, why are we even listening to it? Why are we watching the movie if there's not a message or a moral or some sort of lesson we can take from it? What do you take from this, Callie?
I guess I'm going to stay on the sappy trend today. I think that maybe the movie didn't set out to necessarily be that way. It's supposed to be funny and goofy and all of those things. But I think at the heart of it, the message or the moral, I think, is the importance of family and cherishing your family at the holidays, right? Even at one point, he goes and tells Santa, I don't want anything. Keep the gifts, keep the stuff. I just want my family. And that's what gives it all closure at the end, is them all being together. So to me, moral of the story is that the holidays are about more than material goods. It's about the family that you share it with.
Okay. Well said. Michael, what do you got?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Kelly nailed it. The only thing I would add, don't let petty disagreements with people you care about ruin things in the long run. I mean, it's going to ruin them for you and them.
Okay. Yeah, I took the family as an important message away from it. I also took address your fears, because there's several things he's scared of, and he just goes and he's like, well, I have to do this. And even down to the end where he's going shopping, he's doing whatever, and he's going downstairs and doing the laundry. He's not scared of the furnace anymore that's down there that's heating the house, because that he thought sort of was like a monstrous thing at first. And and like then he's like, hey, I'm going to protect this house, I'm the man of the house now because he's the only one there. So yeah, you sort of, face your fears. Family's important. A thing, it's funny because Callie, you said like, the movie might have supposed to have been like just a funny cornball movie and hilarious, which it was at parts. But I think that's a John Hughes thing. If you think of, he does, I think he purposely put that in there to send a message. You think of The Breakfast Club, all of the messages that the serious teen sort of click type of getting along, those messages in Breakfast Club. And then I think about Trains, Planes, and Automobiles too. Like in the end, that gets very serious, right? And this guy, he doesn't really have a home, and he's going to take him home. And he's like, so I think Hughes always tries to put something in there. So he makes hilarious stuff. Same thing. I'm thinking Uncle Buck too, right? Uncle Buck. It's like, hey, this girl has to get along with her mom, and she finds that Buck really cares about her. So it's always sort of something good like that. So I'm not surprised that y'all went sappy with that, and I sort of did too. If you're looking at that, so
Hey, Gonzo,
yes,
because you mentioned the basement, I wanted to ask you because
yeah,
John Hughes was at the helm with Mr. Mom, right?
Roger that.
Didn't the basement scene, didn't you think that was reminiscent of Mr. Mom and the washing
Yes,
machine scene?
yes, yes. In fact, I'm thinking that furnace to me looks a lot like the one that they used in the movie The Burbs too, but
Hmm.
that's a different story. We're gonna have that one on our list down the road. But so all right. So overall take on this movie, Mike. What do you got?
Just overall, it's entertaining. It's definitely something to watch at Christmas, along with the other lineup of good Christmas movies. So even for the flaws that I see, for me, it's definitely something that I can absolutely see having on again.
All right, Kylie, what do you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think it's a great Christmas movie. It's something that anybody in the family can watch together and find something to enjoy, regardless of age. I think I said it before, like grandparents and little kids could all watch this and enjoy it together. Um, Even with the like things that weren't great or whatever, you're going to have that in any movie.
Mhm.
For me,
Yeah.
it's a classic. Yeah.
All right, very good. Yeah, I think it's entertaining, definitely entertaining. It's funny and it's reminiscent because it
Mm-hmm.
reminds you Christmas. So um,
Yeah.
it's an entertaining movie. So that's my overall take. So watch it or trash it. We're going to do that. I'm going to say this. I'll start here. If you have not seen it, you should watch it. You should definitely watch it. It is a Christmas classic. It's an American Christmas classic comedy, and I watch it. I'm going to have to watch it again very shortly here after Thanksgiving because my wife, that's what she does, right?
Hmm.
So if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. How do you feel about it, Callie? Watch it or trash it?
Agreed. Watch it.
All right, Michael.
No, definitely watch it. And to me, Christmas movies, you've got Home Alone, A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation. Uh, Christmas movies have almost replaced music, where during Christmas parties, family get-togethers, you can put them on the TV. Everybody's seen them before. You can start watching them on any given scene, and you can just have them playing in the background, and it kind of helps make it Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sort of like baseball, right? You could that's how I am with baseball. You could just sit it there, watch it, and just not pay attention, and then you hear the crowd roaring, and you go back and look at the replay. What happened?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna give it a rating. So to remind everybody, and since Callie's here for the first time with us, it's like 5-tier rating. Worst rating, take a bathroom break. You don't need to watch it. Second rating, I'm not going to have any snacks. I'm going to scroll through my phone or read my current novel I'm reading while the movie's on. Average movie, I'll drink a Coke and watch this. A little bit better than average, a Coke and some popcorn. And then this movie is just awesome. The best rating we have is a Coke, a popcorn, and a box. For me, it's a box of your favorite candy, but for me, that's got to be Raisinets, right? So what do you rate this movie, Michael? We're putting you on the spot first here.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I think it's a good solid holiday movie. I'm going to replace a Coke. I'll have an eggnog with spiked with a little moonshine, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going with the middle rating.
Yes.
Okay. Callie, what do you got?
I'm going all in as the super fan. I'm going to say probably not a Coke either because I don't drink soda, but
Yeah.
maybe an Irish coffee. Popcorn and a box of Raisinets, but it has to be the dark chocolate ones.
Oh,
but I'm all in.
Nice.
I'm all in.
Okay. Wow. That's pretty special. She gives it a 5, man. 5 stars. Basically, that's what that means. I'm going to give this, I don't drink soda, but I'm going to give this a Coke, and I'm going to stick with a Coke. Just because I've seen it so many times, and a Coke is not bad. It means it's an average movie for me. It is a standout for the holidays, and I sort of am forced to watch it. So that gives me a little bit sometimes of an issue, but we're going to go with that. So and I could go a Coke, maybe if someone passes me a Christmas cookie, I'll have that. So a Coke plus a little bit, you know what I mean? So y'all with your holiday drinks, I don't know what to say about this. So all right. So I think we've got that one. We've got that one going. So I think that's a wrap. That's for the holidays here, people. So thanks for listening to Gonzo, Mike, and a VCR. And thank you, Callie, for being a great first guest on the show. I mean, we really appreciate you being a part of it.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and you'd be welcome back at any time. What do you think about that? Is that something you consider?
Thank you. Yeah, it was great being here. Thanks for having me. Like the podcast. Love this movie. Obviously, I'm the only one who gave it a 5-star rating. But yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. So if anyone out there listening enjoyed it, please follow or subscribe. I know Callie must have subscribed and she must have followed. She's listened to every episode. Is that right?
You know, I really enjoyed your Full Metal Jacket episode. I know it's quite different than this one. But yeah, my husband and I listened to it together and we're laughing at your guys' take on everybody watching it before they go to boot camp, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So everybody, if you have a movie you'd like us to watch, or if you're a super fan of a movie and you want to be a guest maybe, or just have a comment, or even if you just want to send us a picture of what your hair was like in the 80s, shoot us an email at gonzomikevcr@gmail.com. That's going to be checked once daily. Again, that's gonzomikevcr@gmail.com. Additionally, feel free to leave comments on your listening platform, Spotify, Apple. As you know, we're on YouTube now. We respond to those as well. Give us some likes on there. We've added some polls to some episodes on Spotify. So let us know your thoughts and respond to those. We're currently working on a Facebook page for the show. I've actually loaded 4 Facebook reels on that show with links to the full episodes. Those they're pretty good. We've already got some people looking at those, and I haven't even really opened up the show publicly yet. So let us know your thoughts in our next episode. Unless something changes and we get someone volunteering for some crazy thing, what we're going to do, we're headed back to the early 80s with a pick from Mike. So everybody strap yourselves in. Because Mike's got some crazy picks here. It's a 1982 comedy. It's directed by Ron Howard, which I didn't know. It's one that I've heard of, but I've never seen. Tell him what it is, Mike.
Oh, this is incredible. It's a sleeper hit. It has something for everybody. Michael Keaton is one of his awesome kind of breakout roles. You get to see the Fonz turn into a nerd, and you get to see what Shelley Long is like as a prostitute. It is The Night Shift.
Okay, and I got to correct you there, Michael, because I looked it up, and when I looked up The Night Shift, that's a horror movie.
Good.
So it is just Night Shift.
Okay.
Without the right? Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense.
It does.
I'm saying that
we don't want to have people going to watch the wrong movie.
No, we don't, for sure. So Night Shift, that's what it is, and we're going to check that out. Unless plans change, things could change. So, well, folks, that's a wrap. I'm Gonzo,
and I'm Mike.
Until next time, keep watching movies. Gonzo, Mike, and VCR is produced by Gonzo and Mike. All rights reserved.
Rewind, they're the movie stars.